GMGMGMGMA. What's up, Music NFT Radio? Welcome back to another episode of NFT Marketing. We're here on the podcast and we're here to bring you some of that knowledge, that information, that alpha on NFT marketing. We want to help you build an organic community in Web3 for NFTs. And ultimately, the goal of NFT marketing is to sell more NFTs. If you're not selling more NFTs, then it's probably because your NFT marketing isn't on point. And today, we're going to talk about an amazing topic, which is going to help you sell a lot more NFTs in the community. And today, we're going to get a collector's perspective from my man, Jamie. So it's great to hear from big collectors and their perspective on the space. What makes them ape into projects and go crazy buying NFTs? What makes them bullish on the right NFT communities? Why do collectors buy? We always want to hear that perspective. As an artist, as a creator, it's super valuable to hear a little bit more about what makes collectors bullish. And this is all a part of NFT marketing. So like I always say, NFT marketing is more than just coming into the spaces and shilling your work or spamming people in the DMs. NFT marketing is about how you design your community in a way that's going to attract collectors. So if you're listening in right now on podcast sites or on YouTube, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, get involved in our community on Twitter Spaces. We're live there every day. And tap into the Discord at Dilluminati.com. Go join in over there on an amazing community. If you're here on Twitter, the link is in my bio. Click my profile and go over there to Dilluminati.com. It's at the bottom of the bio. It's a custom link. We have our own website. Don't be looking for discord.gg. Hop into the community on Discord. Become an amazing part of what we're building. So let's dive right into it. Today we have a collector. His name is Jamie Scott Zimmerman. He's a fellow friend from PA, and we're happy to have you here, my friend, to talk a little bit about what you collect and what makes you super bullish on certain collections. I know you just picked up some Dyl NFTs. You've been getting more and more into this community, but I really started finding you and taking note of your collecting through the NABU Faces community with Bavugar and Ali and what they're building with the Nabus. You're, I think, the biggest whale over there. Oh, whaling out. Dude, I think you're the biggest whale over there in the Nabus. So you got super bullish on those guys, and they have an amazing platform in that community. So I really took note of how much you were collecting over there, and now you're one of the biggest in the gallery. I think you've got over 50 pieces into the gallery or something like that. So that's going on in Paris, a really classy, fancy art gallery that you're a big part of. And seeing your collecting, it actually made me even more bullish on the NABU Faces and the community that's going on over there. So this is going to be a great chat because I'm a big collector. I have over 500 NFTs. I think you are also in a similar range of NFTs. So talking with us is going to be some great alpha for the community. And I'm always up here just talking and blabbing, but hearing your perspective will be really great too. So welcome to the stage, my man, Jamie.
Thank you, brother Dyl. It's great to be part of this community, and I'm glad you hold this space. It's really educational. I think the main point is onboarding new people. I think just going back, I think my first PFP I ever collected was probably over 2 years ago. And I've been in the crypto business since Bitcoin was between $6 to $9. So it's been a good 11, 12 years since I've been in the business. So, and I've seen this jump from Web 2 to Web 3. And I get really excited because this is like the renaissance for artists. I mean, we're taking back power, you know. This is about time that this has happened. So I'm going to give you guys, just a couple of tips. I'm a collector. I've collected right around 600 NFTs, there and about. My price range is usually anywhere from, my main collection is probably around from $25 to $125, but I do collect pieces that are less. But I feel like when you're in the $25 range, I think that's when you can start building up some utility for your holders. I think utility either real life events, event tickets, um, definitely giving you parts of other different projects is nice to collab. Um, but as a collector, what I want to hear from an artist is I want to understand your story before I get to see your artwork. I get a lot of people that know that I collect NFTs and they just DM me just constantly, and I don't get a hello or an introduction. If you're going to approach somebody that collects, you approach them like you would in real life. You treat them, not as somebody that just has money to throw away, because collectors don't have money to throw away. They're investing in you, and you have to understand this in this world. I think a lot of people struggle when it comes to being an artist. They don't understand it's a business. I think you need to take it more serious, guys. I think if you're going to do an NFT project, I want to see you treat it like a business, because if you're not, the project will fail. There's a lot of people out there promising the world and under delivering. There's nothing more dissatisfying than seeing projects like that, or projects with no utility. You know, I, if I want a JPEG, I can go get a JPEG off of iStock. You know, yeah, it's a JPEG. You know, tell me about your project. Tell me about your utility. Tell me, what how you started in this industry. And these are the things that, intrigue me. It won't always be your artwork that sells me. I do have pieces that, you know, that I wanted to invest in the person instead of sending them ETH. I would rather buy their artwork, even though I'm not a fan of the art. I'm the fan of the actual artist. There's a difference out there, folks. You
Yo,
know,
let's hone in on that, Jamie, because that's a really important point. And one thing that I've seen a lot of as a collector is that people confuse utility with being personable as an artist. Okay, and let me explain that. If you're a new artist here in Web3 and you're just getting started, and you don't have a previous community, or you don't have a big idea to add a bunch of utility, it's okay. We know you don't have any goddamn utility. That's okay. Guys, you don't have to have a lot of utility, especially when you're just getting started and selling some cheap NFTs. The art is utility. So don't think you have to have utility right when you're getting started. We know you don't have utility. You don't have to come in here and try to tell us that you have a lot of utility that you don't have. Okay? Instead, just be personable and appeal to the actual human that is the collector, and say, listen, I'm a new artist. I'm getting started in Web3. I have some dope art on the blockchain, and I just need some initial collectors to support me and help me get started here. And I love making art. It's very inspiring for me. I've been making music for a decade, and I love to just connect with people and enjoy making music. And it's just something I'm passionate about. So I'm pursuing my dreams making music, and I love making video content and doing all of the other work that comes with being a music artist. So for me, that's the personable side of me. And as an artist who's starting in Web3, just focus on that. Focus on your aspirations, your goals, your dreams. We got Pinwheels in the chat. He's a great example. He came in the beginning and he really talked about how, when he was a kid, he used to make pinwheels, and he's in the fields making handmade pinwheels, and now he's putting some of these pinwheels onto the blockchain as a digital art. I mean, that personable side of Pinwheels is so great. And now he's evolved as an artist, and he's into this space saying, I'm Pinwheels. I'll actually send you a handmade pinwheel if you buy the right NFT. I'm on multiple blockchains. I've learned how to use multiple marketplaces. So, guys, you grow as an artist, and we just honed in on an important point, which is that you should be personable, especially when you're new. So when you're new, tell people that you're passionate about art, you love making art. Tell us what kind of art you make. Tell us where you're from. Tell us if you have a family. Do you have some kids? Do you love your dog? Do you love to hang out with your wife and watch Netflix and work on art? I mean, I don't know. Tell us what it is you work on, and what is it that you're all about? Because being personable is going to take you a long way. So I just wanted to dive down on that, and back to you, Jamie.
Yeah, and speaking of Pinwheel, I've talked to Pinwheel a couple of different times, and to let you guys know, I am a collector. I've bought multiple Pinwheels, and the thing that sells Pinwheel is not just the person behind it; it's the idea. It takes you back in history when you were a kid. Now he is selling a story, and the utility is the story. It brings you back to your childhood. Some of us want to remember those great times. And, when's the last time you had a bad time with a pinwheel? I mean, Dill, have you ever had a bad time with a pinwheel?
Absolutely not, unless it's not windy out. I mean, let's go.
So, yeah, I mean, guys, pinwheel started very simple. And he came into the space and was asking for help and wasn't pushing his project. And that's the thing. Sometimes you don't have to, push your project in a space. I rarely talk about my photography. Dill pulls it out of me. I think that may be part of some of my struggle when it comes to the marketing aspect of things. I need a team. And, sometimes a project isn't a one person job. And, when you have a simple project, it's okay. But I'm a photographer for over 15 years, and I have 10,000 curated pieces. And in order for me to get these out and do what I have to do, it is going to take a team. And, I put in 40 to 60 hours a week on top of my full-time job. I've lost time with friends and family. Those are the sacrifices that come to play. You have to kind of work, have that work family balance. And sometimes for me, that was a struggle because I would just be so into photography that I would just lose my time. I would wake up late to my full-time job, which, that was paying my bills. When I was curating for 2.5 straight years, it took me 2.5 years just to go through all these photos and, prepare the images and do that. I mean, it was a sacrifice. And now's the time when I get to share this work, And the other thing is, when you're an artist, I want to hear why you created this piece of artwork. For me, my photography was therapy. That was number one. It wasn't selling images. It was just going out and becoming one with the earth, feeling, relaxed, no anxiety, just dealing with, everyday life could be stressful. And my artwork was my escape. And, if you're not right in the head, you're not going to be right in business. So the lesson that I learned through all of this was, first, you have to learn how to love yourself. In order to love other people, you have to love yourself first. And that doesn't mean being selfish. I mean, there's certain times you do need to, be selfish and think of just yourself, which is fine. But, it was hard for me to, sell my work when I didn't believe in myself. I believed in my artwork to a certain point, but when I started to love myself, I could just see a change in my photography, And that's the one thing, guys, mental health and art go hand in hand, It's a lifesaver for some people, We all struggle with mental health. Most great artists out there, have the most horrific stories. I could tell you my story, but I, I, I just, I don't want to do it in a space. But when I came to spaces, people learned something about me that I could tell my story, and it was hard because I would go through the tears. But now when I tell my story, it's from a position of power instead of being powerless. So tell me about your work, guys. Tell me what drives you. Tell me if I pick up a piece of your artwork, it's going to provide your family with food for a week. There's nothing wrong with that. I think a great utility for painters, or somebody that's from Nigeria that does pencil work. I love pencil work from Nigeria. That was my biggest thing I got into when I first got into this market, because I heard their story. I heard this, what the struggle was in order to get pencils and paper. It's it's so easy to create on a computer. Dylan knows we have it easy here in the United States for a lot of things. A lot of artists don't have it easy. They struggle to get materials, and I think this is what we need to hear. I have small spaces that I do that are usually from 10 to 15 people, and I love to keep it small because I want to deep dive into people. I'm an investor into people. I'm not just a collector. You know, I want to make a difference in somebody's life, because guess what? Last November, I was homeless for about a week, and I kicked myself in the butt and restarted my whole life. And, today I have everything that I need. Everything
That's
that makes me happy, I have today.
That's amazing, man, and it's such a good story. And I think you get into a really good point, which is like, don't be afraid to come up and show your emotions, guys. I mean, Jamie has an amazing story, which I think we can dive into it another time and just interview you about your story. But I love starting off with this, episode, just talking about what's going to be valuable to others in the community for growing themselves. So, share your emotions, guys. If you have an emotional story, or maybe even you have some trauma, or maybe you just have something relatable about your career, some struggles that you went through. I have my own struggles too with the music industry, getting ripped off by record labels. I wouldn't call it trauma level of struggles, but it's been a really rough time in the music industry for me as well, and that's influenced everything that I do. So I always share my emotional side and some of my vulnerability. So be vulnerable. That's a really, really important tip. And Jamie, also, I would love if you could just talk a little bit now. It's a great segue. You talk about how things are going better for you now. And why don't you talk a little bit about how many NFTs you've collected from the NABU community? How many total NFTs do you have? And what kind of opportunities has that brought you as a collector, too? Because now you're going to be in a gallery in Paris. So let's kind of hone in on that.
Yeah, I was it was just one day that everything hit me. I wanted to create, but then I wanted to start collecting. So I had a couple ETH in my wallet. So I went to the NABU site and I saw the artwork, and I was like, okay, I'm intrigued by this. So I minted 10, and they were 0.018 at mint price. And I hit the mint button and it said 10. I said, okay, I'll get 10. Then I
Uh-oh, my man, you're rugging out a little bit there. Jamie, don't rug on us, my friend. No, not before the big reveal. All right, well, that's okay, guys. We're just rugging out a little bit. Thanks to everybody who's listening in. We got over 50 people in the room. Go to the bottom right, guys. Like and retweet the space. We're vibing out. We're hearing about some alpha from a big collector, Mr. Jamie here. And we're live on the Music NFT Radio podcast, guys. So go over to the Music NFT Radio account. Make sure you're following and go on to musicnftradio.com. And if you guys are enjoying the show right now, retweet the space and get more people in here if you're here live now. And if you're not tapped in on Spotify or YouTube with the podcast yet, go look up Music NFT Radio onto Spotify and go onto YouTube and type in Music NFT Radio. If you're over there, click like, click subscribe on the video. Let's get even more people into this community. And thank you for all the support. So I think Jamie's coming back up here now. So we'll get him back up here as a co-host. Come on back in, Jamie. You were just about to drop that freaking alpha about how many NFTs you got and all the amazing opportunities that it's brought you.
Yeah, and sorry I cut out there. It must be the snow that's dropping here. I'm not too sure if you're getting it yet, but we got a couple inches of.
Oh, is it gonna snow here in Philadelphia? Oh man, dude.
That or
Oh
rain.
man, I thought it was always sunny.
So back to the story. So I had a friend that told me about NABU, and I was just like, okay. And next thing you know, I had 30 of them. Well, then I started hearing about, and that was just collecting just on the artwork. I didn't even know about the utility. And I was so inexperienced when it came to, I just wanted to be part of something that was bigger than me. And I think that's part of why I do like whale into certain collections, because it is bigger than me. I want to be part of this whole positive vibe. I want to, give back, not only with my time, I like to invest in projects. I like to invest in people. So with NABU, it was great because I started to hear the utility, and they were like, well, you can get, we're going to do a gallery. And if you buy 3 NABUs, we want one of your images can be put in a gallery. And I was like, wow, I haven't, I have all this work and I haven't put it to good use yet. I said, well, this is part marketing. And I was like, this could be a really good marketing thing for me. It could get my name out there. My name's been out in the space for, just talking about NFTs and onboarding, but I want to be known as a photographer. I want to be, somebody says, oh, wow, I see that piece. I know exactly it's a Jamie Zimmerman piece. I want to have that effect on people, and I want to leave that legacy for my son. This isn't about, I don't want to be front and center. It's, I like to usually lay back and I like to watch certain things happen. But I started collecting these, and by the time I was done collecting, I spent right around 7 ETH and had 333 NABU Faces. So that entitled me to, 100 and right around 100, 111 that I could have submitted to the gallery. But what I did around Christmas time is I started giving them away as gifts. So I had a Christmas fund of $5,000 for artists. And this is something I've promised, literally $5,000, not just saying an NFT is, oh, here's an NFT, I'm going to put the value on it of $1,000. No, this is stuff that I actually purchased and gave away. And I gave away some of my artwork. And, that's one thing. I like to give back more than I get. And, that's not a way of prospering sometimes. Right now I'm ETH poor because I have an investment in a whole bunch of NFTs. So, you do have to have a balance, and I'm learning that balance. So, and the thing is, right now, I decided that I wanted to have 50 photos in a gallery because, I had 10% of the actual whole mint. It was actually up to 12%, I think. So what I did is I submitted just 50 pieces of artwork because I didn't want to flood the whole gallery. I didn't want it to be a Jamie Scott Zimmerman gallery. No, this was for all the artists. So as a whale, I did understand part of that, and I did give back to the community. And there was artists that I knew that wasn't able to, you know, buy three Nabus because it came out to be about $120. And it's a lot for a lot of people, and I understand that it's a lot for me at times. So what I did at Christmas time, I started giving them out to artists that I felt were deserving, of being in a gallery, to give them that opportunity where they didn't have it. So, I did that last November when I was just getting on my feet and I didn't have anything to give back. So what I did was I had about 100 different photos of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And what I did is I went downtown for Christmas and I was giving them back to the community, just handing them out as Christmas gifts. I mean, these were photos that cost about $10 a piece, and I would normally sell for 100. And instead of, bettering my situation, I wanted to give back to the community that gave back to me. And I gave about 75, I think it was 77, I think it was. So I gave those out to people that were at restaurants. I wanted waiters and waitresses to have a piece of my work of downtown Harrisburg because, I have 6 unpublished books of just Harrisburg. So, that's something else that's going to be coming out here soon. So, but yeah, just want to explain my story a little bit. And now I'm in Paris. This is my first gallery. I'm actually in Paris. So, I could pinch myself right now.
Let's go. I actually didn't remember that you were actually out in Paris now. So, dude, we. Hello, baby. Let's go. We're out there. Dude, that's amazing. I'm not sure if my art will have made it into the gallery there, but I'm also a whale collector of the NABU. And, dude, it's amazing to hear from you. And I think a very common theme that everybody will find in Web3 and in NFTs is that the biggest collectors are often artists themselves. I think we all have aspirations of being an artist. So, a big part of your journey in Web3 as an NFT artist is collecting from other people. And it's super underrated, and people forget that. So, I think this whole thing has been a really great lesson for anybody who's, looking to connect with more collectors and to find more people to support them. It's like, listen, you got to start by supporting others too. You can't just constantly think about selling your own NFTs without ever supporting anyone else. Pay attention to what other people are doing and support others, because then those are going to be some of your biggest supporters. I mean, Jamie, I'm sure you've found a lot of support through the NABU community. I mean, it's a great community, and by collecting those NFTs, I'm sure it's look, you're in freaking halfway across the world because you bought some JPEGs on the internet, right? So even just saying that is pretty crazy, isn't that right? Because I've been there too.
Yeah.
My first time in London was at NFT London just recently, and I just couldn't believe that I'm in London because I posted some freaking NFTs on the blockchain a couple years ago, and now I'm in London speaking about my music. Like, it's crazy. So I know how it feels to have that experience. Congratulations, man. Enjoy your time over there.
No, I'm not over there, man. I'm still in Pennsylvania. I got stuck here,
Oh,
man.
oh, 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 oh.
I
I
spent so much
misunderstood.
money.
Dude,
I
you got me
invested so much.
excited. You got me all riled up. I'm like, oh, he's over in Paris, but I know you just mean you're in the gallery. My bad, bro. You're taking
Yeah,
over
I'm
the
in the
whole
gallery,
gallery.
man.
You have so many spots in the gallery. I almost thought you were there in person. But dude, tell him a little bit more. You've been super successful with all of that, and dude, it's just a matter of time. The next one, you're gonna be there for sure, man. Because listen, I think personally that this is what's gonna send the NABU Faces absolutely rocketing. Because after this event, people are going to be like, oh, wow, NABU Faces, it's only 0.02 or 0.03 Ethereum. It's so cheap. And people are going to meet all these guys IRL, and they're going to realize how cheap and affordable this collection is. And that's why I'm super bullish.
Yeah, and the last thing was they brought in timepieces with Deepak, and I was like, wow. And I have 50 pieces out of 400 pieces that are in this gallery. So it's still, I do have an overwhelming presence in this. So, and it's not really to sell my work. In a sense it is, but I'd prefer to get my name out there and tell my story and, build up the value for the collectors, and I've had some really good investors, I've had people that have spent thousands of dollars on my prints, and it's amazing when you sit down with a client or a new collector, and I started showing out my whole portfolio, and I was like, wow, there's way too many images here, and it's all trial and error. If you don't get outside of your box, you're always going to do something comfortable. You're going to be mediocre. I didn't start getting out of my box until about a little over a year ago. And I think these spaces really have helped me. I was more of a, laid back kind of funny guy, just taking in conversations. Now I'm actually adding value to these conversations because I'm educated now in this space. I understand what it's like to sell work, and I understand what the struggle is. I can understand, from a collector's perspective and also an artist's perspective. So I can give you both, you know, both ways to approach an artist or a collector. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't do this without a family. And that's what this community is. It's a family. We connect. I connected with Dyl because he was part of the NABU project. And then I was like, oh shit, this is Dyl? I was like, oh my God, this is like a big deal. And like, it's so weird. Like we could talk to different people in the beginning of the bull run where we would talk to like a Snoop Dogg, or we would talk to, a Val Kilmer, or, just people that were in the movie business that were celebrities. They were asking us questions because we were OGs. We knew the technology. And that was something that I was like, wow, I have a lot to offer. And when you start to love yourself and understand this, then you do understand your power. I always underestimated my power as a person and as an artist. These days, I'm building upon, you know, the props and all the, good vibes that people give me. You guys have lifted me up to who I am today. And I couldn't do it without the support. And, that's why I love Dyl, because Dyl is 100%, you know, let's go, let's support, let's get this going. What do we need to do? And, you get it done. That's what it's about.
Hell yeah, man. I'm always trying to get it done and always trying to bring value for the community while we're at it. So, dude, amazing to have you here and hear a bit of that perspective. And congratulations on all your success and what a good year it's been for you. And there's just big things coming, man. And thank you so much for picking up a Dill NFT, becoming a collector of mine as well, getting more and more into the community, man. So, much love to you. I know we're talking about putting together some IRL events, maybe a concert out in PA near Harrisburg there. So much love, my man. Let's keep it going, keep the room growing. We're recording the live podcast now, guys. So if you're enjoying this alpha, this knowledge, this information on NFT marketing, please subscribe to the YouTube Music NFT Radio. Give a like, give a comment, If you're on Spotify, subscribe to the podcast. It's available on all sites, guys. Wherever you listen to podcasts, just look up Music NFT Radio, and we're going to give everyone a chance to share here on the live show as well. So shout out to you, Jamie. Thanks for coming in today. Guys, we're here with the NFT Marketing Show. We do it every day on Twitter Spaces, and we're here to give you that knowledge, that information, and that alpha to help you build an organic community here in Web3. And guys, ultimately, we want you to sell more NFTs. If you're not selling more NFTs, then the NFT marketing really isn't working. So, yeah, I want to go to some other people here on the stage. I want to first say what's up to Pinwheels because we talked about Pinwheel a lot with Jamie, and I want to give Pinwheel a chance to actually go ahead and share. So, what's up, Pinwheel? Are you there? Oh, Pinwheel, he's sleeping on the mic, snoozing. All right, well, let's go to Tax. What's up, Tax?
Did you see your DMs?
No, man, what's up?
I don't know. Anyway, I just want to announce something real quick. I think I'm going to be the biggest collector for the next 6 months on NFT. Um, I didn't want to announce it publicly to say I'm going to give back a lot to people, but it got to a point that I have to announce it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna start buying shitload of NFT from everybody that supports me, and anybody thinks they could put the money next to my money, come on with it. People want to act like, Anyway, Dale, I got your back, so on and so on, but it's about to go down. I'm about to make it rain like a strip joint. So let's go.
Tax, my man. Well, we're always happy to have you here, bro. We got to keep pushing in the community. We're doing the live podcast right now with Jamie. So, yeah, man, thanks for coming in. We're just talking about a little alpha from what collectors like to see and what they're looking for. So, yeah, I guess Pinwheels isn't here, but we already gave Pinwheels a special shout out in the podcast. So I'll tag him anyway. But you can come see him on the show every single day. So, Jamie, thank you so much for coming in and sharing, my friend. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep going. We definitely want to have you back to do a deep dive about your project and everything that you're building here for the community. So, much love to you, my friend. Guys, if you're not tapped in with Music NFT Radio yet, make sure you're tapped in with the Music NFT Radio podcast and the account that we're building here. And we're doing some truly amazing stuff for the community. So happy to have you on here, Jamie, on the live podcast. You did a great job, and we're going to have you back soon to talk about your project. So keep up the good
Thanks,
vibes, my
bro.
friend.
Yeah, most love, man. Joe, you know it. I can't wait for IRL stuff, man. That's what that's where the boys and the men get separated. Some people talk about it, they're the boys. Some people do it, they're the men. So let's do it, baby.
Hell yeah, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go, guys. The show will go on here live on the Twitter spaces, but that's all for the podcast today. So I hope you guys got some knowledge, some info, some alpha about these NFT collections and these communities that we're working on right here. So, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Leave a like on YouTube, a comment, a subscribe. It goes a long way. Tap in with the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music. Go to musicnftradio.com or just search Music NFT Radio anywhere and you'll actually find that podcast. So, super happy to have everyone on the show. Come on to the Twitter spaces every day, guys. Come up and share and be a part of the podcast recording live. You can be featured on the podcast like so many others. And it's just a super supportive and positive community. So, guys, come on over on Twitter Spaces every day. You can come on up on the NFT Marketing Show, introduce yourself to the community, come share your art. We want to hear about what you're working on, whether you're brand new, maybe you have some basic questions about how to mint an NFT, or maybe you're a veteran NFT creator and you want to just come up and share your work and try to get some more sales. We support everything. And if you're not in the Discord yet, guys, it's in the bottom of my bio, dilluminati.com. Don't be looking for discord.gg or any of these other links. It's Dilluminati.com, and that's where we're at. So hope you guys will tap in on the Discord for the 24/7 discussions, and the show will be going on. So we're going to hear from some more NFT creators today. But shout out to all the podcast listeners, and keep tapping in. Much love.
Thanks again, Dill. I appreciate it, man. And, let's